guys, and welcome back to the 10 of everything. Look, technology is amazing, and by now everyone should be accustomed to not being so surprised by certain inventions and instead start thinking a little bit more futuristically. One thing I do all the time is talk to others about some of the ideas I have and how they can be implemented. Most of the time they say something to the effect of, no, it just won't happen. No, that's crazy. No, that doesn't make much sense. Well, here's the thing. Inventing the future doesn't start with doing the same thing that we've been doing. It starts by reimagining how things could be done. So in this video, I'm going to share with you some of those things that have been reimagined. You'll be viewing 10 of some of the coolest tech coming from CES 2022. So sit tight, try putting on your hat of imagination, and I hope you enjoy the top 10 tech of CES 2022. Okay, so first on this list is the CyberPower PC's Kinetic Series Gaming PC. Okay, first of all, just look at this thing. It looks like the Ghost from the Destiny games. This is CyberPower's idea of automated airflow regulation via openings through the walls of the case, and it looks as cool as it is functional. They've pulled this idea from the bigger scale kinetic architectural projects and buildings, such as the mentioned Al Bahar Towers in Abu Dhabi, which has sunshades that automatically adjust itself by way of software algorithm that measures temperature and sunlight detection and direction. Though this device won't be able to tell the sunlight shining on it on your computer, it'll apparently open up to allow for more airflow when the internal temperatures are elevated. Now, one concern that I have is allowing the redirection of air to escape in a direction that you don't want it to go. An example of that is allowing the hot air to circulate around the heating source that's creating it. I mean, if having big openings on one side of the computer was actually going to help, well, everybody would just have the entire computer exposed and or one wall left off of the computer tower. Another concern of mine is what would happen if something falls into one of the available openings and then the opening closes. What do we do then? I think that's a bit of a risk as well. This thing is really wild and eye-catching, and yet it still maintains this professional look. I really like it. The functionality that it brings is a plus. Total conversation piece that works. At the moment, I have one of the CyberPower PCs in white, and I might have to consider getting this one upon upgrading. Good job, CyberPower. Okay, next is the Labrador Retriever Automated Shelf End Assistant. We're getting close, people, and the ultimate goal for a robot is to get something to the effect of Rosie the robot from the Jetsons, picking up your mess, washing your dishes, and serving you food. Unfortunately, we're not quite at the level of washing your dishes or cleaning up after you. However, the Labrador Retriever can still serve you food and or whatever else you put together. As an added cost, you will have to install a few motorized tray dispensers so as to get the full effect of having this thing. The robot will then be able to roll up to wherever you have the dispensers, and food and other necessities will slide onto the Labrador, allowing for it to take that stuff to you. Well, let's say you don't want to purchase the dispensers and you just want to have the Retriever itself. Well, you're still getting a good deal. You can have it follow you, and when it's next to you, you can store things in it, place things on top of it. You can use it as a personal assistant while you're doing work or whatever it is that you're doing. In the video, the Labrador Retriever brings this lady her blood pressure machine, which gives me the idea of using this thing as maybe a medical cart, if that's your thing. How about this? Picture an event such as a party or sports gathering hosted by you. This thing could be traveling to programmed stops throughout the house, giving guests drinks, snacks, and napkins. Or how about this? Waking up to the Retriever shelf, bringing you everything you need to get ready for work. Now, from what I have seen, this thing is very slow. However, I can look past this with the ability to have something bring you things, and knowing now that it's slow, I wouldn't expect Usain Bolt to be running me my chips. I do want to reflect on my gratitude I have for this device and say that this machine has the potential to help a lot of people that are maybe older, less capable, or bedbound. It is a much needed piece of equipment for some. Okay, next we have the Schlage Encode Plus Smart Wi-Fi Deadbolt. Alright, so the technology for this has been around for a while, but now Schlage has entered into the Apple ecosystem. Knowing that the iPhone is the most sold phone in the US, I think it's safe to say that Schlage has made a great business choice for future sales and for iPhone users. Now they have an additional trick up their sleeves. Able to be unlocked with your iPhone or iWatch using the Apple Home keys, the Schlage has given its users 2 additional ways to unlock its deadbolt. Simply walk up to the door and flash your iPhone or iWatch across the center of the keypad and the door should unlock. Though this unit was already capable of allowing users to create passwords for individuals or ones that can expire after use, as well as enable users to unlock their homes when away through the Schlage app. Again, this sort of tech has been out for some time, but now the company has expanded on it, which is something that is always good to see. I do wish that we can stop doing the whole just Apple this or Android that and integrate some of the extra functions such as this deadbolt into one that offers to all. Though competition does have its value, and we will eventually see someone who integrates both with Apple and Android. All right, so next is the Alienware Project Nix gaming server. I'm gonna go ahead and call it Nix, not NYX. Let's call it Nix. Here's another example of tech that is rethinking, redoing something that is already being done. Much like Google Stadia and Amazon Luna, Project Nix is one that is at its core a cloud gaming service. As we know, cloud gaming is typically giving the user the ability to play AAA games basically anywhere. Examples such as playing Cyberpunk 2077 on your phone, tablet, and app through your TV, and even any web browser. The idea is that instead of paying a one lump sum of anywhere from $400 for a console or $2,000 for a gaming PC with maxed out specs, you now pay a subscription fee of $10 a month to enjoy the best games at maxed out graphics and performance. The problem here is with lag. Lagging is when you have a delay from the user's input and the game's output, as well as when your frames are cutting in and out. At the moment, cloud gaming services require certain criteria to be met to gain a decent experience. One of them, of course, is a fast internet speed. Other boxes that need to be checked on the local level are good performing routers that don't drop in radio connection and making sure that there aren't too many devices on a shared connection. Though, even if every bit along the way, from your connection in say Boise, Idaho to say Dallas, Texas, is clear and unobstructed, with all services running smoothly, you still wouldn't have a latency-free connection. In comes Project Nix from Alienware. This is basically going to cut that distance from miles to feet and host a localized gaming server within your house, most likely at the cost of purchasing a loaded Alienware gaming PC capable of pushing maxed graphics and performance out of the most demanding games. The company states that with their new technology, it will cut the lag time that is not only present with the likes of Stadia and Luna, but also with other localized playing platforms that we have now, such as the ones Xbox and Steam offer. Look, it's Alienware, and I believe that they can achieve something great out of this. All right, on to the next one. We're looking at the Samsung Wi-Fi and solar charging remote. Okay, you might be thinking that this is a gimmick, and you might be right. The remote charges off of Wi-Fi? Well, yes, sort of. From what the company says, instead of having lithium-ion batteries, it will just house a small capacitor, which is basically a battery, that will continuously be recharged by way of solar power and the radio waves emitted from your router. Samsung admits that this Wi-Fi charging technology is not something that they invented and have just repurposed. Also, two interesting facts. If you were wondering, the charge will apparently not be coming from the 5 GHz radio frequency, but rather the 2.4 GHz. And according to Samsung's research team, if unobstructed, RF charging can reach up to 40 meters, which is a little over 131 feet. One cool thing is that if you're well within a certain distance, like say 30 feet, even when obstructed, you can have the remote anywhere and it'll charge. Wireless charging at the moment is left to leaving things out in the sun or over a charging pad. At first, I was asking the question, so wouldn't it get its solar charge and be good for like a week or two? I mean, how much power is this thing going to use that it needs two methods of wireless charging? Then I realized it's not even about the remote. It's about the fact that it can charge at all using Wi-Fi radio waves. Forget about the remote for a second and realize that every day, all day, there are routers pushing Wi-Fi just about everywhere. You're telling me that we're going to figure out Wi-Fi charging for a remote and be done with it? No. There are going to be plenty of other devices that can be trickle charged again and again by both using solar and radio waves. Of course, these devices will have to be small for now and not really use that much power at all. However, the tech is there and we will see it being used for other, probably more useful things. I'm excited for what will come out. Hey guys, we're halfway through the video, and if you're liking it so far, please consider becoming a regular TOE viewer for the 10 of everything by subscribing. Clicking on the bell icon will allow you to know when my next video is out, and clicking on the like button will allow my channel to become a more popular one. Thanks. Next is the LG Omnipod. This is LG's vision of how automated vehicles should look. The company pushed out something similar with the LG connected car back in 2020, in that they both kind of look like a minivan. However, one was for a rideshare service and this one is more personally owned. The idea is that you're in a home away from home with certain amenities that you would only ever have if you were driving an RV. You have drinks and snacks and a place to store your clothes even, as well as a few screens for viewing entertainment. Rather than just come up with a device that is meant to be comfortable when going from point A A to point B. They have the end point in mind. So once you get to your destination, how comfortable and convenient can we make it? Was the question they asked themselves. And the answer was pretty darn convenient and comfortable. With a virtual human-like assistant that walks you through exercises, meditation, demonstrations of certain tasks, and much more, the virtual assistant adds a visual how-to when asking it the same things you would normally ask your Google or Amazon smart devices. All in all, I think this idea is really cool. However, I know that it will be more commonplace in the future, as it will be a natural progression from where we will be. Mentioning recreational vehicle earlier made me think of this idea that RVs would be a great next step in auto vehicular breakthrough. So you've seen Tesla's automated driving tech where it was able to direct a convoy of 18-wheelers. Well, when we're at a point where we can just trust 18-wheelers to travel automatically, why wouldn't we allow recreational vehicles to? Talk about the ultimate cross-country vacation. All right, on to another computer device, the Asus Republic of Gamers Flow Z13. Okay, this device is very much like the Microsoft Surface Pro line of 2-in-1s. It has a nice hinge stand on the back and with a micro SD card slot hidden behind it. It attaches and detaches to its keyboard much like the Surface Pro, and you know you'll be getting a similar ergonomic experience as you would with the Surface Pro. That being said, this device is not just a 2-in-1 with the same tricks. It is a 2-in-1 that is capable of gaming. The screen comes in two flavors. On one end, you have the 4K UHD IPS touchscreen at 60 Hz with 450 nits. And on the other end, which the one I would choose, is the QHD IPS touchscreen at 120 Hz with 500 nits, both of which are using a 16:10 aspect ratio. The GPU it houses is a 3050 Ti, can have up to 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5 memory, up to 1 terabyte of SSD storage, and a 14-core Intel i9-12900H CPU capable of pushing 5 gigahertz, which is also cooled by liquid metal. The thing only weighs in at 2.4 pounds. The hinge is capable of bending 170 degrees, and the laptop comes with a 100-watt charger that can charge 50% of the laptop in 30 minutes. There is also a pen offered by Asus called the Asus Pen for an extra cost, so I'm going to seriously consider getting this 2-in-1 as I have had 2 of the Microsoft Surface line and I love them. With a more powerful device like this one, I can imagine docking the 2-in-1 and getting the incredible speed and functionality with this clean desktop setup, then pulling it off the dock and taking that power on the go. The feeling of having a device with versatility and power in as thin a form factor as this one has got to be an amazing one. All right, here we go with another cool device. It is the Cura Gallium AR headset. Right, so this could be the most career-changing device on this list. What I mean by that is that doctors, architects, engineers, man, even training institutions for multiple careers will utilize these glasses to get a real-time, true-to-size visual example of any topic being studied. Doctors will know exactly where to cut and how to navigate the body during operations. Engineers and architects can test structural support and the physics behind the renderings, all the while being in or around the place the structure would be built. From nurses and chemistry majors to certified nursing assistants and phlebotomy techs, the training potential is incredible when factoring in these glasses. Well, what makes these different than any other ones out on the market now? Cura Gallium claims that they will offer the biggest viewing angle and experience with a 150-degree field of view, which is much bigger than the next widest, which is at 52 degrees. Not only that, but the device will also offer an 8K per eye resolution. The glasses are also capable of 95% transparency, which can be adjusted to a more opaque appearance so as to allow for the switch from AR to VR. A concern that I have with these is stemming from one of its pros, the fact that it is super light and portable. It makes me wonder what type of battery life you can get out of this device. Right now, the top-selling VR Oculus Quest 2 gets around 2 hours while set to 60 Hz and medium brightness and is nowhere near 8K resolution. Hopefully they have an answer for this, but I don't think that many institutions will be looking for this product if they know that they're going to have to recharge it often throughout the day. All right, so we're coming up to the next one on the list. It's the Novetto N1, aka the Invisible Headphones. Finally, some audio innovation. Labeled as the Invisible Headphones, Novetto claims that it can project sound from its speakers directly to your ears only by way of their beamforming technology. With very little to, if any, discernible sound behind the user, well, at least past 1 meter away from the user, there will be little audio heard. The company states that there will be 90% audio reduction while 1 meter away from the person using using it. It will deliver 3D spatial audio sound and is capable of staying connected to your ears even while making small head movements side to side. This device can also connect to Alexa Assistant. Now, the applications that they show it being used in this video are always in a room owned by the user, but I imagine being in a rideshare and having your own screen to watch, yet no dirty headphones to pick up, nothing to put on. You just watch whatever you're watching and the sound is going directly to your ears by way of this device. Same thing with long distance plane rides. How about this? What if people of different nationalities are sitting on the same couch and you have a live dubbing for each of the individual languages that they speak from the news broadcast that they're watching? I can see this device in places where the person is going to be sitting for a while, as at this moment, the technology is not able to gain 360-degree angles on the user. All in all, this device is one of the most innovative on this list. Okay guys, last one on this list, and probably my favorite, this is the BMW's color changing paint featuring e-ink on the BMW iX. Man, how cool is this? This idea is super revolutionary for cars and maybe other assets like houses, bicycles, school wall lockers, interior walls, you name it. It's sort of like Ron, the robot from the movie Ron's Gone Wrong, where he and other robots like him were able to be used as a means of expression among other things. The e-ink color changing paint is one that will allow people to express themselves. BMW claims that the best functional use of this feature is to influence reflections, and in doing so, allowing them to control the temperature within the car affected by those reflections. At the press event, the company mentioned that you would in fact be able to express certain statuses of the car. Some examples given were showing the car's battery status, showing that the car is clean and not occupied for car sharing services like Uber or Lyft, and the last was making your car flash in a parking lot so you can find it. That's pretty cool. At the beginning of this clip, let me pull it up here really quick. You can see that the color changing ink was able to make the stripes on the hood. If this device is able to make sharp, consistent lines like this one, then it most likely would be able to do a lot more. To me, this technology is a bit different than regular LCD, LED, or even previous e-ink technology, because what I'm looking at here is curved edges and objects in the way of making it a singular piece of screen. Now, to expand on this idea, this would be a cool feature to have within one's house. Maybe on the walls of bathrooms and washrooms, people can select a number of different designs to be placed on their walls as quick and as easy as they would change their background on their phones. Same thing for lockers at schools. Granted, with supervision from the school staff, kids can express themselves in a way that would bring the feeling of home to school, or simply just to crack jokes. What about being able to send a friendly or maybe even not so friendly message to other motorists on the road? Your tire's flat, cut me off again, see what happens. That last one is probably why this isn't going to happen. The BMW iX with color changing paint is not the most life-changing innovation, but it is definitely something that we will see more of, whether this year or years to come. Okay guys, that is the video on the 10 of the best and most innovative gadgets of CES 2022. I want to thank you guys for viewing this video, and if you get a chance, please consider viewing some of my other content on my channel. Also, it'd be a big help if you subscribed and clicked on the like button on my videos so as to make my videos appeal to more people through YouTube. And again, I want to thank you guys for watching the 10 of everything.